What's up, smart people? How's it going? Here's another video for you, and here I'm gonna break down on how to draw trend lines. I'm hopefully gonna give you a lot of examples real quick so you can see how to draw them and do them effectively and not do them the wrong way. So depending on what platform you're using, say you're using TradingView or anything like that, it's gonna be essentially different on each one, but I like TD Ameritrade for doing all of my patterns and my trend lines. So let's establish a trend line real quick right here. Alright, so let me zoom in and say we're grabbing this low point right here. We're seeing that the stock is making higher lows, higher lows. What I mean by higher lows, I mean the bottom of the candlesticks is higher when it, each bottom is higher than the other candlestick. So this is higher, and each single one is not going to be, higher than the one previous of it, but most of them are moving higher and higher and higher. And as you see, at the result of it is showing that there's buying pressure, and now traders are realizing that, and they're just adding in, trying to get more, probably scalping it, trying to get more trades in and get more profit. So real quick, let's establish a trend line. We'll grab the bottom of this. You're noticing that it's going, click it real quick. We're noticing that it's going higher. So it's going there, then goes higher, and now this is your trend line right here. So so we got that row right there, and we see that it's bouncing, and we can probably expect it to bounce in this direction or have a sell-off because it's been so overextended over this period, but it's gonna react right where the trend line is at, or around that area. That's why it's so important to identify the trend lines, and you can see the trend has been going on the upwards since yesterday. So you could draw here. Okay, now this is how you redraw your trend lines. When after you see that it is no longer following that trend line, that means it started a new trend. It is now going up, because as you can see here, it's really not all the way going up. It's going just barely up. It's hitting resistance right here. Draw it out. It touched it once, touched it twice, pretty much right there, bang bang. Well, we pretty much had a sell off. Pretty much touched it again, touched it for sure there, touched it pretty much again there, and pretty much touched it again there. It wants to go up, and then it broke through up during the pre-market hours, establishing a new trend and establishing a new support and resistance area. So this has now become the support area because it's the lowest point of the day, and this is the resistance area so far, but most likely this is more the resistance area since the stock is so overextended. So a lot of things to learn. I mean, just take it slow at pace, but real quick. So since the trend line has, is no longer valid, the stock is no longer bouncing off that, we take the last point where the trend line was, and you can see it's connecting right up, pretty much right up where it needs to be going, since it's been going upwards. And that's how you can establish the price action, that the price action is moving on an upwards motion, curling like a snake. And that's the same way on the downward motion. Let's see if we can find one like Apple. I think it's been going down recently. Look at that. Alright, so zoom in. We grab this point here where you can see that it's been on the downside. Once you start going away, and bang. So say this didn't happen yet. Let's zoom in. And as you can see, Apple has been following the trend line of going downwards. It's been respecting this line. Bang, you can see it. And this is how stocks fool you, because it has so much other time, if you look at it right here, it's 9 at the open, 9:30. All this time it's going down, and it's acting like it's going to go up, but then it's going back down because we're respecting the trend line, respecting the VWAP right there. That red spacey line is my VWAP, and respecting other things too. There's so much other stuff going on that you got to try to analyze all at one time and make the best decision on the trade that you're trying to do. So real quick, right here we can establish resistance. Oops. Resistance right here. That is respecting that line. Our trend is moving upwards though. On the upward motion, let's grab the best candle that we can to represent the upward motion. It's getting 1, 2 candles there. And essentially right here we made somewhat of a pattern, a triangle. Now this triangle can give us a good indication of what the stock way is going to play when volume comes running in. As you see here, it's getting close to the power hour. Power hour is 3 o'clock. Between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, which is 1 hour before the market close, is power hour, where a rush of stocks or a rush of shares are traded before the market is closed. And as you see here, watching Apple, and it's kind of respecting the pattern here real nicely. It's getting a nice push. If we wait for another minute or so, another 5 minutes, it's going to either jump up to the upside or jump up to the downside, respecting the pattern that is forming here. Now real quick, one thing that's hard to do is to see patterns in 1 minute charting. 1 minute, one day, 1 minute charts. It's a little harder to see patterns this way because it's showing so much action going on, you know. It's like, it's pretty ugly, but when you change it to 5 minutes, it's way more clear. You can see bars more fully, and you can better do trend lines, see on try to predict what's going on. Bang bang, not really. You'll establish support right there. Bam, now in 1 minute looks totally different. Doesn't look like you're barely touching the lines. It's still kind of following it, but this looks way less cleaner because it's trying to show you by minute, and the action is, you know, way more demanding and faster. But yes, you know, trend lines are your best friend. Please learn them. As you can see, I have a trend line from back there. Let's look at it. 180 day, and it is just roaring upwards, following a trend. You could take the top. Try not to take the wicks. I don't. Some people do, but I do not. I like to get the full trading action. And as you can see, it's just on this upward triangle motion. That's a bad trend line forming right here. I'm just trying to show you quick demonstrations real quick, because, you know, each stock is different. It's kind of hard right now to find a really good demonstration. But I mean, you can see SPY is just following its own thing. It stopped following the trend there. Now it's climbing on this trend line. Connect it there. Might bounce off, or it might even bounce off here and just go up. That's the importance of trend lines, to establish areas of support or to establish areas of resistance. Look at that. It's making a nice little triangle motion upwards. Alright, and real quick, let's see if I can show you some patterns. Like here's which we call the bull flag. somewhat of a real deal bull flag, but it would be a bigger candle here than that. It was just slow volume on this at that particular moment. But as you can see here, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down because the price was overextended. Now it's just retracing, trying to gain back momentum. It hit a fighting point here. A doji is what you call when a wick is longer on the downside, or longer on one side or the other, and the middle body is thin, so called a doji. And you can see here, you can grab the trend line here, and it's just falling upwards. So you're like, all right, it's forming a triangle. Say these candles didn't happen, and you're just trying to see how this stock is reacting. You can say, all right, it's forming a triangle right here. I can see it's still climbing upwards. Think it's a good time to get in, and bam, you hit it right on the head, and you just follow the stock upwards, setting stop losses a couple cents under where you got in, and you are just following out, setting the target price, and bam, you're out. And as you can see here, it's following the trend line so good that you could have got out at a really good number. So then you can mark out the resistance, potential area of resistance, get that line. You can see, alright, it's passing my trend line, it's getting overextended. It's almost probably a good time to sell. It's getting there, getting a lot of volume, more than recently. You gotta look at, all this type of stuff. It's all different type of patterns going on. It could be a pattern within a pattern, and all types of stuff, I mean, this could be forming a cup and almost a cup and handle, or a wedge, a rising wedge with a bull flag. See that? And now all these indicators are saying that, hey, this stock is getting momentum, and bam, it's pushing upwards right now as we speak. So very nice. Let me see. Find you another one. Now let's look at examples like these stocks that haven't been stocks that haven't been traded that heavily, and no matter if you're on 1 minute or 5 minute, it just looks ugly, it looks bad, and it's hard to establish a real trend line with this. I mean, look at that, it's breaking there, and it's kind of hard. So it comes to a point where you have to decide if you're going to waste your time with a stock that's not heavily traded at the moment, unless you got some real good information on it. It's a real gem. I mean, definitely you can still establish trend lines here when you back it up to a bigger timeline, like 180 days. But if you're trying to do 5 days, 5 minutes, look at this. It's just that's not good way to draw a trend line with something like this. Do not waste your time. It's not being heavily traded at the moment. You can definitely look at the yearly chart for sure and establish areas of trend line for sure, but do not waste your time with the 5 minute charts and it's looking like this. So quick tip for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please share it if you did, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Thank you.